We are honored to have on our show the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Secretary Scott Turner. Secretary, a big, warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us tonight. Okay, let's get right to it. Do you agree with the Senate Finance's version of the big, beautiful bill, or do you support the initial legislation passed by the House?
Well, Liz, thank you. It's so great to be with you. And I heard you say the July 4th timeline. I mean, what greater way to celebrate our nation's independence than to get the one big, beautiful bill passed and give the American people a great tax cut and get our economy thriving. You know, what you're seeing now is the House and the Senate negotiating real time. And I'm glad that we get to see this. When you talk about the American people, you talk about welfare reform and getting able-bodied people back to work. You know, this is an exciting time. I know we're doing the same thing here at HUD to see what tools we have to help the American people to get back to work, to raise their families, and to thrive once again in our country.
So you like whatever's going to come down out of the Senate. You're all for it. But, you know, we got to turn to the Secretary. What's your response? You talked about cuts to Medicaid. What's your response to criticism from Democrats on your department's budget request? It looks like a 51% cut to the budget for HUD. But you say that HUD has not carried out its most basic mission, even with previous record high funding. How are you planning to carry out HUD's mission with proposed budget cuts of, it looks like it's going to be cut in half?
Well, Liz, it's a paradigm shift. You know, status quo and business as usual in America under President Trump's leadership is no longer acceptable. HUD has had record funding, over $70 billion in our budget, and yet we only serve 1 out of 4 eligible families. Homelessness has gone up 18% over the last year with record funding. And so this is a paradigm shift. It's a new playbook, if you will. We can't keep running the same plays and getting the same losing results. And so for Democrats, you know, I just had my hearings last week in the House and the Senate. You know, people don't want change. And my thing is, if we are elected people that are elected in the Senate and the House are elected by the people of America, and most of which serve the most vulnerable populations, and yet they still want to do the same thing. Well, myself, the president, and our team at HUD, we do not want to keep running the same plays and having the American people lose. And so we have to look at this, a new paradigm shift, so that we can effectively and efficiently serve American people. And you know what? It may be that we do more and do better with less, but the American people will benefit because of it.
So you're a former NFL star, right? I love hearing the words, not doing the same plays again. That's fun to hear. Now, you know, Secretary, let's get back to the big, beautiful bill out of Senate Finance and its version. It kind of waters down no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime. They become deductible only through 2028, and they're capped unlimited at just tens of thousands of dollars in their amounts. We're showing it now. And auto loan interest is deductible only up to $10,000. Are you worried this is going to disappoint the Trump voter?
You know, the American people gave President Trump a mandate. And as you see, Liz, and you know as well as I do, and even greater, that these are negotiations that are taking place. President Trump is fighting for the American worker. He's fighting so that people can take home more of their income, take home more of their paycheck, so they can invest in their family, so they can one day achieve the American dream of home ownership. And so that's what we're seeing real time. It's negotiations. You know, what percentages come about at the end, I know, you know, they'll handle that. But I know from a HUD perspective, when we look at, you know, what's going on at HUD, we have 9 million people that live in HUD-funded housing or subsidized housing, and 50% of those have people in their household that one person is working. And so something different has to be done. And I believe that's what you're seeing under President Trump's leadership and in negotiation with the House and the Senate. How do we get America working again? How do we get people moving again?
Big, beautiful tax cuts for everybody. Thank you so much, HUD Secretary Scott Turner. You were great. It's good to see you on the show. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you.